Well, Snowaddle, it looks like we've made it. This is the lair of the Windjinn.
Yes, mortal, you have made it to the lair of the Jinn. Now tell me what you desire.
Oh my god.
What?
Nothing. Has anyone ever told you you have huge tits?
Good afternoon, my cracker tugas. I'm MBT, and this is 20 Spirit Testing. Well, it looks like we're about a couple of weeks out from the official release of Firestorm, and I forgot to ever do a video on Tornadjinn. Like the third or fourth best deck for months, but I had to rush to get a profile out for change position. Well, better late than never, I guess. Presenting Tornadjinn. So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course the card by card. But first, if you've been compelled to casting by my videos, I've got great news for me! I've got an affiliate code in the Elestrals shop, so if you're picking up cardboard or plushies, please use that link down there. It helps the channel immensely. Now back to the video. With that, let's tinker with Tornadjinn. Tornadjinn and its base Elestral, Windjinn, are two cards I 100% wrote off at the start of Moonrise. I had envisioned a totally uncompetitive deck that played bad cards like First Light and Draco Ray and constantly manipulated the top of its deck to get maximum value out of Windjinn. But it turns out I should have spent less time conceptualizing it as the true name and more time conceptualizing this card as Delver of Secrets. Windjinn procs on receive, so rather than jam the deck full of terrible cards like First Light, you can instead just use your cast trigger to set up your next turn's trigger by way of reenchant. In this way, Windjinn transforms from a gimmick to a must-destroy, in a deck that can otherwise play some of the most spirit-efficient Elestrals in the game, from Kaufmel to Lumaru. This is Adam Adams' top 8 deck from the Dallas Open, but new iterations on the list are even foregoing Apollo, leaning heavier into a good stuff build that can just high roll. I'm not yet that confident, so let's do this card by card. First up, we've got 3 Eddie, 3 Astrabbit, and 1 Elichick. We're playing 1 copy of Quackle for a heal package for Tornadjinn that includes the Quackle, Kaufmel, and Ambro, so you're always able to get back spirits. 3 copies of Windjinn, which, when it receives a wind, can name a card, then foretell 3, and if 1 or more are foretold that way, you can add 1 to your hand and special ascend in 2. Tornadjinn from deck, who can expend a wind or a solar in order to search your deck for 3 cards with different names, add 1 at random to your hand, and shuffle the rest into your deck. Kaufmel does a lot for this strategy. You do occasionally go low, and it's a great card to get off of Tornadjinn. Lumaru is an efficient beater, findable off of Apollo. 1 copy of Earthquake, double Tsunami, double Zeus, double Cryoblast, 2 cards that play very well together. If you have 1, you can guarantee a removal spell by picking the 1 you're missing, plus resting on your laurels and Earthquake, and 2 copies of Apollo. We're on 3 Ambo, 3 Gorgon's Gaze, 3 Shield, 2 PTA, and of course the resting. We've got some boy math going on. We've got 2 Teratlus, 3 Leviathan, 5 Zaptor, 2 Lycoris, 1 Flurmine, 6 Luminape, and an Owloon for stuff out of the board. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Blizzstrix, and our opener looks pretty good. We're going to begin by casting Windjinn. I like to call Gorgon's Gaze here, just a pretty valuable card going first or second that just rolls off the tongue, but instead we hit a bunch of Elestrals. Okay, well, we can put those back in any order. Let's just do that. We're going to make it so that we draw the Astrabbit, and then we can call the Kaufmel off of our next turn Windjinn if we want to re-enchant. We're going to set 2 and pass back to our opponent, who is going to draw for turn, and just watch this turn play out, I beg of you. They're going to lead with a copy of Snowlet. They're going to go for the effect of the Snowlet here, and they're going to mill. What do they find but Asprowl Cedarsaur in the top 3? So they're going to go for the Asprowl trigger here that allows them to ascend over the Snowlet into the Asprowl, as well as the Cedarsaur trigger, which just puts a Cedarsaur on their side of the field. After that, they're going to go for the Asprowl. They'll expend a Frost Elestral in order to mill 1, 2, 3, 4, and they hit another Cedarsaur. What a hell of a first turn play. Okay, well, they're down to 13 in Spirit deck, but they have pretty much everything they could ever want. We will Tsunami here. This is a super profitable Tsunami. I thought about PTAing that last Cedarsaur because of the way this turn's going to play out, but I end up not doing so. We'll Windjinn, and because it's received a wind, we will do the foretell. What do you know? We hit it. We'll take that Kaufmel. Now I wish I'd called Ambro. We'll put those 2 back, and then we'll ascend into a Tornadjinn from deck. We're going to enchant with a Solar here because, of course, the Tornadjinn needs to be on for us to make use of its effect. We are going to go for that bad boy, and then we're going to activate the Tornadjinn effect. This is a little clunky to do on this client, but the way that it's going to work is we're just going to roll a die. I pick Gorgon's Gaze, I think PTA, and a copy of Earthquake as well. We roll the die, and it does come up Earthquake, which means I'm able to add a removal spell to my hand. And now I'm thinking, I actually might be able to out this entire board. We're going to try our best to do so. Our opponent is at 6 spirits to our 3, so we'll grab the Earthquake. Then afterwards, we're going to fire off the Resting on Your Laurels first, so we can grab one of these 3 guys and throw them in the underworld here, the Asprowl. We'll follow it up with an Earthquake on one of the Cedar Sores, and we can attack over the 3rd one. The only thing that wipes us here is Shield, and unfortunately, they do have the Shield. That is going to put the Tornadjinn back in hand, but it's not the end of the world. If we can develop a Kaufmel, we can use the Tornadjinn to ascend over it afterwards. They're going to switch the Cedar Sword to attack and then send it to the graveyard to ascend into a Blizzstrix. We're going to do the worst play in Elestrals. I hate doing it, but I do it all the time, which is PTA the Blizzstrix. We will take 3 here, and we will take an additional 3 to send that bad boy to the graveyard. Now, usually this is fine because getting to a Blizzstrix puts your opponent at a really, really low life total, but here our opponent has an Ambro, and also the first Snowlet was the one that popped off. So as a result, they're at 11 to our soon-to-be 5. We're going to go ahead and take that 6, and this Kaufmel is just going to have to do some work, son. Down it goes. We will draw for turn, and we'll develop the Kaufmel. We'll go Kaufmel in. They'll take 1, and the next turn we can go Tornadjinn and maybe continue to walk away with the game. Unfortunately, they have a crazy turn here. They lead Morlith and then realize they can actually even do better. Instead, they're going to expend 2 in order to activate the hand effect of Enfrostix. That's going to bring back this Snowlet. They're going to go for the Snowlet effect because it received a Frost, and what do they hit but a Cedar Sore once again? Oh my goodness. All right, out comes the Cedar Sore. Afterwards, they are going to go for the Morlith, and the Morlith has the capacity to here hit an Asprowl if they so desire. Thankfully, they don't, but there's not too much left in the deck that they could even want to get back. They're going to flip up a copy of Ambro that they had set going back to 5 here, so they're in no danger of like getting eruptioned out of this game. Always something you do kind of have to keep an eye on at if you are playing this deck. We're going to take some damage after healing off the Kaufmel, and we will go down to 3. We'll draw. It's an Ambro. We got to use the rabbit to get out of this, but I struggle to think what would even get me out of this. We look at the top 3, and there's an Ambro there. I think that's probably worth. We can dig for a little more time, but these cards are really slow to deploy. It feels like 2-card combos. We're looking for like a Winjin and an Apollo that we can deploy on the same turn. That's going to require us to find one of the 2 here and not die, and then find the other one off the top of the deck. It's a pretty big ask. Here we're going to put enough back so we survive a turn. We'll shuffle and pass back to our opponent, who is at a pretty low spirit count. They just have total board control. This Cryoblast doing hot nothing for us, by the way. A nice Frost Enchanted Elestrals. All right, they are going to just go ahead and cast with 2 Waters and the Flurmine off of the Snowlet, a Rise for a Blizzstrix that is online. Last 3 spirits in the deck. They will use the Blizzstrix effect. That's going to pop the rabbit and get in for 7, which kills us. What a swingy-ass game. So we're back with the deck, and I don't know. Sometimes they just have the mandate. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, this deck is explosive. It's got some really incredible swings that can immediately turn the tide in your favor. Yes, it's a little random, but 2, you can really play around its randomness. By playing the heal package to guarantee spirits, or the removal suite to guarantee you won't have to worry about your opponent's Elestrals, you can make a 33 look like an 100. And 3, sometimes you don't even need to set anything up. By calling a 3 of, you've got somewhere in the ballpark of a 10% chance to just hit a blind Winjin. Very little that feels that very good. And the cons. 1, as you saw, it can get run over. Because most of its combos feel like 2-carders, you do miss out on the comeback ability of something like Lego. 2, Tornadjinn dies to everything. Sure, it's good that it cashes in immediately, but it still feels bad to die to Cryoblast, or Shield, or Eddy, or Resting, or Tsunami. And 3, if you're just gonna high roll, why not play Blizzstrix? All in all, Tornadjinn spent several months now as a mainstay of the meta, and doesn't appear to be going anywhere.